walk you through the basics of machine learning. When people hear the term machine learning, most of them picture a robot. But machine learning is not a futuristic fantasy. It's already here. In fact, it has been around for decades. The first ML application that really became mainstream in the 1990s, improving the lives of millions of people, was the spam filter. It has learned so well that you need not identify an email as spam anymore. It was followed by hundreds of ML applications that quietly power hundreds of products and features that we regularly use on daily basis, from better recommendation system to voice search. So what exactly does it mean for a machine to learn something? Machine learning is the field of study that gives computers the ability to learn from the data without being explicitly programmed. Consider an example, a spam filter. Spam filter is a machine learning program that should learn by itself to identify spam emails from given examples of spam emails and regular emails. Traditional approach. Consider how you would write a spam filter using traditional programming techniques. First, you would look at what spam typically looks like. You might notice certain words or phrases such as credit card, 100% free, discount, etc. All these words tend to come up more often. Or you would also notice certain patterns in the sender's name or recipient's email body. Now that you have identified certain patterns, you would write a detection algorithm for each of these patterns that you noticed, and your program would identify emails as spam if a number of these patterns are detected. Next, you would test your program and repeat the steps 1 and 2 until it is good enough. But the problem with this traditional approach is that it is time-consuming and less accurate. Learning approach. Unlike traditional approaches, spam filter that is based on machine learning automatically learns which words and phrases are good predictors of spam. It detects unusual frequent patterns of words in spam examples compared to the ham examples. The program is much shorter, easier to maintain, and most likely more accurate. Let us understand the types of machine learning system. Based on the training with human supervision, machine learning systems are classified into supervised, unsupervised, semi-supervised, and reinforcement learning. In supervised learning, the algorithm is trained using labeled data. That is, the training data contains the desired solutions or labels. There are two typical supervised learning tasks. One is classification and the other is regression. The spam filter is a good example of classification. It is trained with many examples of emails along with their class such as spam or ham, and it learns how to classify new emails. On the other hand, regression predicts a target numeric value. For example, consider that you are trying to predict the price of the car. Given a set of features such as mileage, brand, etc. called predictors, the model tries to predict the price of a car. This sort of task is called regression. To train the system, you need to give it many examples of cars, including their predictors and their labels, that is, their prices. In unsupervised learning, as you might guess, the training data is unlabeled. The goal is to find hidden patterns or structure in the data without being given any prior knowledge of the target variables. Some of the important unsupervised learning algorithms are clustering algorithms and association rule mining. Let us understand clustering algorithm. Let's say you have a data about bookstores visitors. You may want to run a clustering algorithm to try to detect different groups of similar visitors. For example, it might notice that 40% of the visitors are males who love comic books and generally visit the store in the evening, and other 20% of the visitors are young sci-fi lovers who visit during the weekends and so on. Association rule mining. The goal is to dig into large amounts of data and discover interesting relationship between attributes. For example, suppose you own a supermarket. Running an association rule on your sales logs may reveal that people purchase bread also tend to buy jam. Thus, you may want to place these items close to each other. Semi-supervised learning. Some algorithms can deal with partially labeled training data, usually a lot of unlabeled data and a little bit of labeled data, because labeled data is expensive. This is called semi-supervised learning. Some photo hosting services such as Google Photos are good examples of this. Once you upload all the photos that includes family, your friends to the service, it automatically recognizes that the same person A shows up in photos 1, 5 and 11 while another person B shows up in photos 2, 5 and 7. This is the unsupervised part of the algorithm clustering. Now, all that the system needs is for you to tell who these people are. Just one label per person, and it is not able to name everyone in every photo, which is useful for searching photos. This is the supervised part of the algorithm. Reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is a very different beast. In this context, the learning system called an agent can observe the environment. It selects and performs actions. If the action is good, then it gets rewards in return. Or if the action is bad, then it gets penalties in the form of negative rewards. So, it must then learn by itself what is the best strategy. This strategy is called policy. The goal of the agent is to get the maximum reward over time by identifying the optimal policy. For example, many robots implement reinforcement learning algorithms to learn how to walk. DeepMind's AlphaGo program is a good example of reinforcement learning. It learned its winning policy by analyzing millions of games and then playing many games against itself. In conclusion, machine learning is an exciting field that has the potential to revolutionize how we solve complex problems. We have covered the basics of what it is, its types, and how it works. The benefits of machine learning are immense, from predicting diseases to improving the customer experiences. If you are interested in learning more, there are many resources that is available to you. Take that first step and start your machine learning journey today.